All right, beautiful souls. Welcome back to this week's edition of the You Unlimited podcast. I'm your host, Christina Deering. I am so grateful to dig in today. This episode is truly for the people that are feeling lost, that are wanting to find the answers, but are feeling like they're in that in between, the void, and they're not quite sure how to move forward, what to do. They might have just experienced something traumatic that had them, or had you feel like, okay, I'm at a standstill. I don't even know how to move forward from here. So, this is for those of you that are feeling lost and are looking for the answers, looking for how to move forward. Maybe something didn't go to plan the way that you desired, and now you're questioning things and feeling super alone on the journey. And so, if you're in this space, I'm so grateful that you were magnetized into this space. I always ask that I am a conduit, a channel for the messages that are most meant to flow through to those that are tuning in and magnetized into the space. So it's no mistake that you are here. And my prayer for you is that you receive that beautiful golden nugget that's going to support you in finding your way and finding your roots. And so let's dig into this. So, first and foremost, as we move through all of these different seasons, the void, the frustration, the grief, the confusion, all of these different seasons in life, the reminder that's coming through really powerful and powerfully is around God is in everything and everyone. And what that means is this experience of feeling lost is guiding you to find the new path, the new way forward, maybe the one that you haven't taken ever before. And we don't redirect or shift paths until we feel suddenly lost, right? And so there's this idea, I'm getting body chills for you on that, specifically around the fact that there is always a solution before the question is even asked. And it takes a higher level of consciousness to actually access the solution, the answer. So I'm going to repeat that. There is a solution before any question is even asked, meaning there's already a solution. And now we're just asking a question. The solution already exists. And what it takes from us is a higher level of consciousness to access it. So essentially, what you're doing is you're getting an intuitive ping. You're feeling lost. You're feeling polarity. You're feeling alone. You're feeling whatever it is that you're feeling right here in this moment. And it's asking you to do something different and to allow yourself to access now a higher level of consciousness. Now, oftentimes when we're feeling that way, we get a little bit stuck, right? In the mud, where we're like, I'm just like, their ego takes over and we're like, I'm stuck in the mud and this is just my life now. And I'll just unpack my bags. And apparently now I just live in this POS, right? And so it's like, actually give yourself the opportunity to say, you're being redirected and that God is in this very moment of redirection. So now, how can I begin to start finding those solutions and those answers that will allow me to move forward, change direction, shift my plan altogether? Because oftentimes we think we know what the best plan of action is, and we're looking at the world through the tiniest little microscope. And the universe, God source universe, is looking at it through the biggest lens possible, through an infinite lens. And so what's in store for us is actually so much better than what we believe is the only path forward. And so it's going to feel like friction. It's going to feel like, well, wait, I want to control it. Wait, this is the way that I'm supposed to do it. Wait, this worked for her or him. Why is this not working for me? And what it's actually doing is asking you to redirect to be able to find now your unique soul solution. So, in order to do that, first and foremost, we have to start to move the big energy that's coming up for you, the polarity, the frustration, the grief, the sadness, whatever it is that has you feel stuck. We need to explore that, right? So, the thing that I always start to notice is, okay, God is in this moment, right? Like when I'm feeling that deep frustration, I'm feeling confused, I'm feeling like I just don't know where my roots are. I take a moment to say, okay, there's some really big energy coming up right now. What's the story that I'm currently telling myself about this experience? And where did that originate, right? What is that initial story? I'm always alone, or this always happens, nothing ever works out. Perfect. When was the first time you felt like nothing ever works out for you? When was the first time you felt incredibly alone? These are hints as to what you're meant to heal in this lifetime for yourself, for your lineage, for your soul. And so, what it's doing is it's guiding you into this internal exploration. What am I currently telling myself about this situation? And what can I do about that? How can I lean in a different way that's going to deeply support me through this? So we start the exploration. We start to move that big energy. We understand, okay, well, the first time I felt like that was when, my parents left. They went on a trip. They left me with a babysitter, and the babysitter wasn't great. She was actually awful. And then I felt super alone. I was scared. I started telling myself all these stories. And we start to recognize why we do the fight, flight, or freeze when we're in these moments of polarity. Because it's not just about this moment, it's about the 3-year-old version of you that was maybe left alone by herself and was really scared and didn't feel safe with the person she was with. So that's where I guide my clients through and where I'll guide myself through an experience of going back and reparenting that version of me that didn't feel safe. I have to rewrite the memory. I have to go in and reparent her altogether. And that's how I start to actually clear that big energy that's having me feel lonely, stuck, scattered, all of these things, right? Because it's so much deeper than the thing that we're experiencing now. There's always something there. It's a trauma that we're starting to kind of dig into. It could be from this lifetime, it could be from your lineage. If you believe in past lives, it could be from past lifetimes. I mean, there's so much available to us that when we start to access that, that allows us to really free ourselves from what's been holding us back altogether. So again, when I say God is in everything, it's like, wow, I never would have looked there. I never would have even maybe remembered that memory. And so that's a really powerful way to start to dig in to move that big energy. And some of the things that I always guide my clients through as well is if they're like, there's just like literally nothing in my childhood, I can't remember this. That's where I'll utilize tools like the Akashic records, things of that nature, that it's basically a record of your entire soul's existence. And it gives, and I act as that conduit, that channel for that information to be able to say, okay, well, where is this energy originating from? Is it from childhood? It's just a repressed memory. Is it from a past life that needs to be cleared and something that's passed on? Is it from your lineage? Is it maybe not even yours, but it was just passed down to you? These are the powerful tools that are available to us when we get stuck. And that's why we get so confused sometimes because we're like, I don't know. I don't know where this is coming from. I don't know why my body feels so scared to move forward or why I feel so alone in this moment or why this story keeps playing on repeat, why I'm not able to manifest XYZ that I so desire. It's in the Akashic records, right? So leading into practitioners that can help you to access that is like, I mean, it's like quantum speed, right? It allows you to actually really have your next quantum leap so fast because it's like, oh, wait, I'm accessing something that I didn't even know existed. How would I be able to clear that on my own? And that's why I lean into my own healers as well, because they access my Akashic records too. Sometimes I just want to lean back and relax and allow myself to just receive the healing. It's so important. Healers should always have healers, in my opinion. And I hate to use the word should, but I believe we all heal in tribe and we're all meant to have incredible channels around us that allow us to access these deeper parts of ourself that we might not be able to access because we have a thing called an ego and it gets in the way, right? And sometimes we're a little too close to comfort for the truth. And so, bringing in someone who's completely non-biased, who's incredible at what they do, who you know, like, know, and trust, or someone you know that has gone to them, like, knows, and trust them, 10 out of 10 recommend. So, when we're looking for a solution, first and foremost, we have to move that big, heavy energy that's in the way, that it's basically a dark cloud that's not allowing us to access any solutions or answers at all. So that is the first thing. We have to move the big, heavy energy. And I was just giving you examples on how I do that, how you can do that, because it's so, so, so powerful. And then from there, we have to make sure that we're grounding our nervous system, right? So those kind of come in tandem. I think when we move the big energy, it helps us to ground into our body. It helps us to find those roots. But those are going to be different modalities. When I'm healing someone, those are different modalities I'm using than when I am supporting with someone finding and grounding their nervous system. right? So something like breath work, something like visualization, something like Reiki, something like just tapping, things of that nature. These are modalities that really support in grounding the nervous system and allowing you to step back into your body. I have something called a 5 minute energy reset. If you have not downloaded it yet, I 10 out of 10 recommend it. So just drop down into the show notes and grab it. The 5 minute energy reset, that's going to allow you to calm your nervous system. And then it gives you that ability to actually access the answers you're looking for. Because if we're in fight, flight, or freeze, it's really difficult to see the flashing red lights or the flashing green lights, right? Because we're in that mode of like all the blood has rushed away from the head. It's now in the extremities. We feel like we need to be running, but really at the end of the day, it's our body just crying out for help and saying, support me in grounding into my body. Allow me to feel safe in this moment. When we feel safe, answers can flow, our intuition can flow with so much more ease. So, the first two things we need to do is one, move that big energy, and two, ground your nervous system so that you can access solutions and clarity. Now, step number three is going to be you have to actually ask for them. Like we have angels and guides that are ready to and willing to support us. This is like their main job. They want to do this. But until we ask them, they can't intervene because we have free will. And so it's so important to remember to ask for these things. Ask for signs, ask for clarity, ask for solutions, ask for them. Say, have it come through and have it be crystal clear. Allow it to be so crystal clear that I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that this is the exact direction I'm meant to move forward, right? Or you can ask for a specific sign. Send me bananas, send me purple monkeys, send me XYZ. I actually asked for purple monkeys one time and I was like, okay, that's so off the wall that if I see it, I know that that's the sign that's coming through. Within an hour, someone posted that I don't even really engage with her content that much. Someone posted something on Facebook and it was like, I don't remember where she was. She was on some beach and she was like, "Oh my gosh, me and like the purple monkeys, how fun is this?" And I'm looking at the monkeys, I'm like, "These are brown monkeys." I'm like, "Why did she say purple?" Okay. Like message received and I'm going to ask, you know what I mean? Maybe and I didn't even really look into it. All I knew was that was the sign that I asked for and the sign that I received. And it was so random and off the wall that I was like, okay, message received, screenshot, saving this for later, just to remind me that I'm always being guided and I'm always being led in the direction that I'm meant to go, the bigger direction, the more infinite direction, the way that my soul and God source universe desires for me to move. Right. So after I ask for signs, I always say this too, like take a step away. Because sometimes we'll ask for a sign and then we're just clinging to it. And we're not allowing the sign to really flow through because we're having tunnel vision. We're looking for it left and right. Meanwhile, it's right in front of us or it's on its way to us. But if we can just take that exhale, again, lean into that grounded nervous system, take a step away and just know that it's coming. Know that the sign, the clarity, the solution is on its way and begin to raise your frequency. That's an incredibly important one, is starting to raise your frequency because again, we have to be in a higher level of consciousness to allow ourselves to actually access the answers, right? Because that version of us from before, the one that was holding the big and heavy energy, the one that was feeling ungrounded, her frequency was lower, or his frequency was lower, right? The second we start healing, because the frequency of shame is super low. If you look at David R. Hawkins, his map of consciousness, it will actually show you the frequency and the vibration of different emotions. And so if you look at things like shame, I think it's something like a 30, it's operating on a 30. If you look at something like love, it's operating at like a 600 or something along those lines and pieces all the way up there too. It's like 500 or 600 or something along those lines. So there's a big differential between when I'm stuck in a shame spiral and when I'm actually accessing peace in my body because I've calmed my nervous system. When I'm feeling deep-seated self-love and love for all those around me. Right? So when I heal what's in the way and I ground my nervous system, that allows me to raise my vibration. I'm now accessing a brand new frequency where that solution is living, where new people or different versions of those people are living. And now I can access that information in a brand new way because I've got ears to hear it. They just happen to be the version of that person coming in that can actually share the message with me in a way that I can actually receive it. And so that's the beautiful part about it is when we raise our vibration, again, it puts us on a different frequency. We can receive in a brand new way. So when we receive the answers, that's when we actually start to follow those intuitive pings, right? Because one answer will take you to the next answer, which will take you to the next answer. I think so often, myself included, it was like, oh, I want the whole thing now. Give me the whole plot. And like God's like, it's a movie. Like you need to like let it flow. Okay, you're in the middle. And I'm like, okay, right? Or like you're at the very beginning. Like take it down a notch. You don't need to know what happens at the very end. Just take it one step at a time because maybe you're not ready for that ending yet. Maybe you're not ready for the step that would come at that moment in time, right? I'm telling you, the things that I've moved through to get to where I am today, if you had told me certain things a year ago, I might not have had ears to hear it or eyes to see it. It wouldn't have translated. I wouldn't have felt safe receiving that kind of information. But the more that we heal, the more that we ground our nervous system, the more we can take it one step at a time. And that's going to get us more and more ready to lean into what is the next step and what is the next soul aligned step. So follow those intuitive pings that you're receiving and continue to take that aligned action. And this is going to be a cycle. It's going to be very cyclical where we're going to be like, oh, I'm on it. I'm in alignment. I can keep going this direction. This feels so good. I love it. And we're going to keep rolling. And then all of a sudden we're going to have a moment where it's like, oh, wait, I feel like I'm back at square one, which you're not. You're never back at square one. You've made so much progress. And now you're either having a deeper iteration of the healing that's happening, or you're now being redirected once again. And just know that you now just repeat this experience, right? You repeat this next step that we just talked about, which is I've taken my aligned action. I'm feeling good. It's taken me to this point, and now I've hit this roadblock. What do I do now? I'm feeling alone in this. I'm feeling scared about this. I'm feeling grief about this. Pause. Move the big energy, like we talked about. Ground your nervous system. From there, ask for more science. Ask for that solution, right? Take a step away, know that it's coming, raise your vibration so that you can be at a level of actually receiving on a brand new frequency, and follow those intuitive pings that you're receiving, right? It's got to feel really good in your body. Intuitive pings just basically means someone says something and you're like, I want to follow that, or I want to meet that person, or oh, how interesting. I was just asking this question and now they're talking about what they did in that situation. That feels divine. That feels synchronistic. It's going to feel that way. And so I follow the synchronicities, follow what feels divine, and take aligned action in that direction. And we're going to keep doing this on the road of life, right? It's going to feel a bit like Tetris, where we're going to be zigzagging, we're going to be moving forward, we're going to be full steam ahead, we're going to hit a wall. God is in every part of that process because if we kept going full steam ahead, we would miss potentially the juiciest part where it's like, yes, amazing, work is going incredible. However, if you didn't take this pause, you might not have met your soulmate, and now you get to have it all, right? And so it's this beautiful moment of saying there's a reason behind all of it. God is in every single part of it. So let me actually pause to remember that. But sometimes we don't want to hear it because we're in our moment. How can I meet myself in that moment and guide myself out of the moment? Right. And this is why, again, my healers are always on retainer because I'm like, there's always more. And I need support in moving this, all of these things, which is really, really powerful. So I hope that this was supportive and you really starting to tune in to better understand, okay, what is it that I can do? What can I lean into that will allow me to find these answers, find my roots, start to redirect myself? I've used this in so many areas of my life when it came to leaving corporate, when it came to going all in on my business, when it came to expanding my family, like all of these things, there were roadblocks in the way, and there were different obstacles and frustrations and question marks and grief and all of it. And it made me feel very alone. And so I started to notice, okay, but if I lean in this way, this is the thing that actually helps me get the clarity, but I don't want to bypass the fact that I'm experiencing some polarity right now. Because I think a lot of people in the spiritual community are like, just think your way to happiness. You know what I mean? And I'm like, it's guiding me into something deeper than that. Now I've kind of bypassed the lesson and I've bypassed the big energy that wants to move. It's come to the surface for a reason. I'm meant to move it. I'm not meant to sit in it and I'm not meant to spiritually bypass it. It's floating to the surface for a reason. Let me understand it so that that version of me feels witnessed and so that I can just move on. That version of me can move on, right? 'Cause she's always going to be living there. She's just raising her hand when we're feeling lost. She's saying, hey, you haven't looked at me in a while. I'm still stuck at 3 years old. Can you look at me for a second? And then when we do, when we see her, when we set her free, when we heal her, that's what we needed to move forward in that direction to say, I am safe to receive. I'm not alone on this journey. I am being guided. I am in tandem with the universe, right? All of these things. But sometimes there's just really big energy we have to move first to be able to access the bigger picture. So I hope that you received your golden nugget today. That is always my prayer for you, is that if you are magnetized into an episode, that there is something here for you that is going to spark something within you that is a sense of remembrance and a form of direction that will say, ah, this is where I get to go. That synchronistic moment. So I am sending you so much light and love. Anything that's coming through, that deep reminder, God is in everything and you're moving through this. This is just a season. You will get to the other side. And I promise you, you will feel more freedom than you ever have before by simply following these steps. So I'm sending you so much light and love. And until next time.